Florida teenager, Trayvon Martin. And in sports, the stakes are high as Kentucky and IU meet for the second time this season. News Center 22 starts now.
Local news, weather, and sports. Produced through the combined efforts of the students, staff, and faculty of Vincennes University's electronic media program, this is News Center 22.
The Bicknell Police Department is on the way towards having a new headquarters. Good evening for News Center 22. I'm Danny Taborn. Bicknell officials have closed a deal that will turn an empty convenience store into the police department's new home. As WTHI's Mike Grant reports, the project is getting the police uptown without breaking the budget.
For the last 75 years, the Bicknell Police Department's operated out of City Hall. The space down in the basement's cramped, even for the 7-member force. Now, plans are in place to relocate the department into the old Casey's store downtown. And the chief, well, he couldn't be happier.
Because we've been in the basement here at City Hall for years upon years, and we finally get to get out to ground level.
City officials say right now they're drawing up some plans and getting ready to renovate this building. But so far, all they've invested in it is some postage and some phone calls.
About a month ago, their attorney called and asked if I was still interested in moving the police station up there, and I said yes. And she said, we're going to donate it to the city.
The building's been vacant for a while and the property may need some work, but the price was right, the plan is in place, and the belief is this is going to be good for both the community and the cops.
It's right on Main Street. It's a nice building. We'll have some concrete work to do, but still it's going to be an asset to the city.
While there's no projected start date for the project, officials hope to have the police station opened and operating by the end of the year. In Bicknell, I'm Mike Grant, News 10.
Bicknell officials say they are also expecting to start soon on a $1 million downtown renovation project being funded by a grant from the Indiana Department of Transportation. Vincennes Park Department Superintendent Steve Beeman is looking for a few good volunteers. Beeman says as preliminary work begins on the Vincennes Pool project, some committed individuals are being sought to serve on a committee to address issues in the next level of the project.
There's going to come a point in time when myself and my board will have to step back from this process and not be involved. It has to be done through a citizen group, and we want to make sure that we have individuals who, like I said, are just as passionate as we are. So we're in the process of getting the word out, contacting some individuals who are at the 2 public meetings, looking back at people who use the pool on a regular basis, whether it's the tri or the families or the grandparents that bring their grandkids to the pool.
Beeman says there is a need for people to co-chair the committee. He says the committee won't be addressing how the pool is built or the cost, but it will be focused on keeping the public informed on the status of the project. Anyone interested in helping can contact the Parks Department at 882-1140. Several neighboring counties in Illinois will benefit from a nearly $185,000 federal economic development grant. Illinois Congressman John Shimkus announced Thursday that the Greater Wabash Regional Planning Commission was awarded the grant from the U.S. Department of Commerce. The grant will allow the commission to develop a framework for economic development in its 7-county region, which includes Lawrence, Wabash, Crawford, Richland, Edwards, Wayne, and White counties in Illinois. Shimkus says the Department of Commerce funds will bring public and private sector employment together and create jobs throughout the commission service area. A Dale, Indiana man has been charged with intimidating a school official. State police reports that 37-year-old Daniel Powers allegedly made threatening statements to the Christney Elementary School principal after the principal had responded to some requests made by Powers. Police say the alleged threats were made in a manner that led the principal to perceive that if Powers were to follow through, it would lead to harm to her and or her family. The intimidation charges was enhanced from a misdemeanor to a felony due to the fact that the threats were made to a school official. Indiana school superintendents will have to disclose more about their pay under a new state law. Governor Mitch Daniels signed the bill into law this week. House Education Chairman Robert Benning says the bill was drafted after it was discovered one superintendent's compensation package topped $1 million. Indiana school corporations will have to hold public meetings before signing contracts with superintendents where they disclose the total in their annual compensation in the contract. The corporation will also have to take public comment and post the contract on their websites. The law takes effect July 1st. Vincennes Lincoln's indoor percussion team will compete at the Indiana Percussion Association State Finals Saturday in Indianapolis. Lincoln will perform this year's show, You Can't Stop the Beat, at 1:07 p.m. and will be one of 22 percussion units battling for top honors. The percussionists qualified for the state competition with a 4th place finish in round 2 at last week's state preliminary contest at Avon High School. The state finals will be webcast live from Ben Davis High School on the IPA website, www.indianapercussion.com. The show will begin at 10 o'clock a.m. and awards at 4:30 p.m. The 3rd annual VU Greater Vincennes AIDS Walk is tomorrow. The walk will take place on the Vincennes University campus with registration starting at 1 p.m. at the Student Recreation Center. The walk will begin at 2 p.m. Free HIV testing will be offered starting at noon with a health fair beginning at 1 p.m. Still to come on News Center 22, the Sanford, Florida police chief has stepped down over his handling of the Trayvon Martin murder case, and the price of gasoline continues to climb. I'll have more on these and other stories when News Center 22 returns.
Coming up this week on WVUT's 22 magazine, you can join the millions across the country who will be marching for babies this spring. Knox County's Ambassador Mom, Erica Richardson, along with Jaleesa Eskridge from the March of Dimes, will talk with me about how you can form a team. And then in our second segment, the American Red Cross is looking to salute everyday heroes in our community. That's the next time on 22 magazine, Saturday night at 7:30 on WVUT TV.
In Sanford, Florida, a major shakeup at the heart of Trayvon Martin investigation. The city police chief has announced that he's stepping aside. Elizabeth Corden brings us the latest.
The same day the U.S. Justice Department was set to meet with the family of Trayvon Martin, there is a major development in the case. Sanford Police Chief Bill Lee is temporarily stepping aside.
While I stand by the Sanford Police Department, its personnel, and the investigation that was conducted in regards to the Trayvon Martin case, it is apparent that my involvement in this matter is overshadowing the process.
Lee's decision comes one day after the City Commission gave him a vote of no confidence over his handling of the Martin shooting investigation.
I do this in the hopes of restoring some semblance of calm to the city, which has been in turmoil for several weeks.
The Sanford Police Department is under national scrutiny. 17-year-old Martin was shot and killed near his father's fiance's house last month. The neighborhood watch leader who killed him is claiming self-defense. No charges have been filed against him, but new evidence has come to light disputing his self-defense claim. The Martin family says their son was targeted because he was black.
What the city of Sanford wants more than anything else for the Trayvon Martin family is justice.
The U.S. Justice Department is conducting a civil rights investigation. The city manager is calling for an independent review of the police action following the shooting. I'm Elizabeth Corridon reporting.
Army Staff Sergeant Robert Bales will be charged with 17 counts of murder and 6 counts of assault and attempted murder. A senior U.S. defense official says CNN that the charges will be announced today. Bales is accused of going on a shooting rampage in Afghanistan on March 11th, killing 16 people. The officials could not say why Bales is facing 17 murder charges when 16 deaths have been reported in the incident. Bales is being held at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. Afghan officials want him returned to Afghanistan to face trial, but the military says he'll be tried in the U.S. The incident has strained the already tense relationship between the two countries. Afghanistan president is demanding all troops withdraw from villages and return to their bases. Former Philadelphia priest Edward Avery pleaded guilty Thursday to charges involving child sex abuse. The plea comes just days before he was to stand trial with two other priests in a landmark child sex abuse case. Avery pleaded guilty to one count of involuntary deviant sexual intercourse involving a 10-year-old altar boy and conspiracy to endanger the welfare of a child. Avery was immediately sentenced to 2.5 to 5 years in state prison. He scheduled a report for his sentence on April 2nd. Avery was defrocked in 2006. He and another priest, James Brennan, are accused of sexually abusing children in the late 1990s. We now know what killed singer Whitney Houston. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office says Houston accidentally drowned in a bathtub at the Beverly Hilton Hotel last month. The report says that fatal injuries stemmed from heart disease and cocaine use. Other drugs identified in Houston's body includes marijuana, Xanax, a muscle relaxant, and Benadryl. But officials say those drugs did not contribute to the singer's death. Houston's family released a statement in response to the coroner's report saying, "We're saddened to learn of toxicology results, although we are glad to now have closure." A new study finds a blood test may one day be able to pick up signs of a heart attack before it happens. Researchers at the Scripps Translational Science Institute in San Diego found that tracking a certain type of cell could be the key. Heart attack patients had elevated levels of the cell, while healthy people had very few. The next step is to determine how long before a heart attack that circulating cells appear. The study is published in the journal Science of Translational Medicine. Gas prices are inching ever closer to that $5 mark. AAA says the national average for a gallon of regular is $3.89. That's up a penny from yesterday. The oil industry recently laid out a set of proposals. It believes it will instantly lower gas prices. They include more domestic oil production and fewer environmental regulations on refineries and fuel. The Hunger Games are coming to a theater near you. Andrew Spencer has a preview and now showing.
Violence is required viewing in the Hunger Games. Growing up poor and fatherless in the harsh, futuristic land of Panem, 16-year-old Katniss is resourceful and protective.
Welcome, welcome. The time has come to select one courageous young woman for the honor of representing District 12 in the 74th Annual Hunger Games.
When her younger sister is chosen to take part in a brutal and highly visible game of survival, Katniss steps in to replace her.
I volunteer as tribute.
The country watches as she and the other 23 participants stop at nothing to save their own lives.
3, 2, 1.
Based on a novel by Suzanne Collins, The Hunger Games is rated PG-13. For Now Showing, I'm Andrew Spencer.
The chance for some severe storms are possible for our area this evening. Cameron Riddle has the latest from our Weather Center. Cameron, what's going on?
Well, Danny, our viewing area remains under a severe thunderstorm watch until 8 o'clock tonight. There is a possibility for heavy rain, hail, and gusty winds. I have your full weather forecast when News Center 22 returns.
Hi, I'm John Schwantes, host and moderator for the 31st season of Indiana Lawmakers. From right to work to Indiana's time zone all the way to cursive handwriting, your legislators have a pretty full plate of issues and only a short session of the General Assembly to tackle them. As always, we'll bring in the key players to our weekly roundtable discussion, plus analysis to give you extra insight on what that legislation means to you. Hope you'll join me.
Coming up on Finding Your Roots. Lifelong friends Harry Connick Jr. and Branford Marsalis embark on a search for their ancestors.